Good evening, folks. Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for another Legacy stream, and today we're playing a rather interesting donation deck list. It is a bit of a brew, submitted by Michael B. We're going to play this twice on stream. I received a rather large donation, so that only seemed fitting. The first time I'm going to play it as it was submitted, and the second time I will probably make some changes to it and see what we can do. So the donor really wanted to play this card in Legacy, Kalitas, Trader of Get. So it's a 3/4 lifelinker. If a non-token creature an opponent controls would die, instead exile that creature and create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. And you can pay 3 and sacrifice another vampire or zombie to put 2 +1/+1 counters on this creature. So we are playing a couple of zombies here. You're not either one of those. We're gonna come back to you. Essentially, we are pile of removal deck with Collective Brutalities, Eliminates, Plague Engineers, Toxic Deluge, Lily Veil, Lily Vast Hope, Murderous Rider. Whew. Like we are going to kill a lot of creatures over the course of this league, and there are kind of like 2 cute things that supplement this shell. So number 1 is Rankle, Master of Pranks. It's a 3/3 flying haste for 4 mana, and if it deals combat damage to a player, you can choose any number of these. Each player discards a card, each player loses 1 life and draws a card, or each player sacrifices a creature. Which is a really weird effect. I don't know what I think about this, but it's interesting. Similarly, in that same category, there's Maze Mind Tome, which essentially reads 2 tap, draw a card, and if you do that 4 times, you gain 4 life. So this is an artifact that is theoretically supposed to be like a 4-for-1, but it requires a lot of mana investment. Of the cards in this shell, I'm most skeptical of these 3 things right here. Otherwise, a lot of what's going on seems fine. It does sort of seem like this deck might want like Hymn to Torox as something else to Dark Ritual out, but like I guess you already have a giant pile of 3s, so maybe you don't need it. The sideboard is full of essentially like good Legacy staples like Leyline, Bitter Blossom, some Edicts, as well as some Lost Legacy to get the combo decks. Fine and Andy, thank you very much for your continued support. Very much appreciated. With that being said, let's just go ahead and jump into a league. Notably, this deck is playing a whopping 25 lands, which does seem like a ton to me. And Reaplecheap, thank you very much for the continued support as well. I hope both of you are enjoying the new Monster Train content, whether that's just the beta or the videos that I'm producing. Beta's really fun. Ninjas is still in the extension. That's interesting. Let's get that fixed. My opponent's going to think I'm making a real tough decision here. In reality, I'm just updating Cardboard Live. Sorry, Kazuku. I need just a second here, friend. There we go. Alright. Turn 1 Planeswalker. Keep. Turn 1 Planeswalker is a little worse on the draw, but like, whatever, you can't have it all. I think Little Fade is the worst of the new champions. By a lot. But, maybe we'll play a Monster Train run after this and, like, talk about some of that. Oh, I don't disagree. Little Fade can definitely do things, but... I don't know. I think circle 1 can go really badly with little fade. We're jamming this one against the either like combo or control deck. Frost Soulguard already got nerfed. Your guess was correct. Is that Omniscience that got pitched? It was Cunning Wish that got pitched. Okay. So we're probably looking at Show and Tell, although it could be High Tide instead. The new Awoken Champ is nuts. I love the new Awoken Champ. Really, I love the new Awoken starter cards. Apparently, this is like the Monster Train side tangent episode, and there's not much that I can do about it. But yeah. The what are they called? Root Seeds. It's such an incredible card once you do a cost reduction on it. Like, it's ridiculously good. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to scry. Well, are we actually playing against a control deck that like has a random one of Cunning Wish? I don't think so. But like, what did they keep? If this is like Show and Tell, they've had 3 Force of Wills thus far. I don't know. I guess they've cantripped a couple times. Now let's assume that this Cunning Wish still means Show and Tell. With a dead draw this turn, I think I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Alright. This is not the card that I want, I don't think, but the card that's happening. So the kind of issue I'm having right now is that, like, if this is actually a Show and Tell deck, which feels extremely likely, this Liliana is not the clock that I need it to be. Rogue Judge, it's going well, but admittedly, it's been a long week at work. I guess we're scrying. Like, we have another one of these I can get cards out of. Bottom that. Keep this around for Fatal Push reasons. Yeah, I know just enough about technology to be dangerous, so I've been troubleshooting a lot of other teachers' questions. That's the classic cycled Veil of Summer. Hmm. Now it kind of feels like I'm dead. No, maybe not yet. Cunning, like, intuition means that I get another turn cycle. Well, that's good. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, in case they have Ice Fang specifically. I think yeah. No, I think it's pretty safe to assume that this is blue-green Omnitel at this point. Oh yeah, I'm feeling fine. I took yesterday off from streaming just because like I had a long day. I had blood work done yesterday, and I just wanted to take an evening to just kind of like relax a little bit. So they really need omniscience. They need like show and tell plus omniscience plus creature. Oh, they don't have it all. Draw a card? Draw a card. Looking at Veil of Summer like. Ugh. Push. Want to discard a land. Don't Veil of Summer me? The opponent gave me the got him. I respect it. Okay. That's fine. That just redraws them into a card they already had. Starting to get scary. No shuffle. Mm. That should kill us. But there are worlds where it doesn't. It didn't get another Cunning Wish. They only have 3 Cunning Wishes? Hmm, that is on. Wait! I'm not dead. This is different. I'm at 27 life. Opponent says that's awkward. I don't think I get myself out of this, but like opponent is at 2, and I have 2 planeswalkers plus a threat. Like the opponent doesn't have second green for Uro to come. Oh wait, they can cast this from graveyard for free, can't they? Wait, no, you can't use 2 separate alternate costs. Yeah, that doesn't work. So this going to graveyard is fine. I'll give them Ponder. Rats. Oh my god, Kalitas! That's actually hilarious. So I should have given them Uro to hand, and then the sacrifice would have gotten rid of it. Yeah, they escaped it by playing second forest. This seems good enough. Excuse me. Don't really have a ton of stuff for this. Like, maybe I'll end up playing Triumphs just because, like, Fatal Push is so bad. Maybe I'll end up playing Bitter Blossom just as something else that clocks. Like, I don't super want this in my deck. I don't super want that in my deck. Seems way better versus a control deck. Lily Last Hope seems awkward. Oh, Eliminates are pretty bad too, right? Like Eliminate and Fatal Push both have the same problem in that they kill an Ice Fang Coatl, and that's not really where you want to be. Though I guess like if opponent is playing Uro, maybe I need to respect that. And opponent like maybe has Oko in there too. I guess I have this for that. Try running this. Yeah, we're gonna try to ram a Lost Legacy down their throat on turn 1. That's fine. So in the past, Zotmaster, the answer to that is no, but like Oko's just getting shoved into everything these days. So like any deck that is blue green, I'm just like not surprised to see it. It's just kind of one of those things where I go like, "Oh, okay." That is correct. Oko is BS. I mean, we got 2 cards out of our exchange there. A little unfortunate, but it is what it is. Don't soul land me, go off. I'll be sad. But I think I want to get my win condition in play. This opens me up to, like, the absolute nuttiest of nut hands, but I think I'm just supposed to do it. Collective Brutality now looks so embarrassing in the face of Sylvan Library. I am still probably supposed to cast it, though. Alright, so we have a Plague Engineer for Icefang Coatl. On Snake. On Snake. And at least we do have something that's going to pressure my opponent's life total. Well, they didn't draw deep on the Sylvan Library. Draw a card for 2 mana. I dig it. This card is real good against discard. I don't know if you knew, but it just is. I think that's a no to putting that one in. If my opponent puts in a Grizzlebrand, I want to be able to kill it. The ideal time to remove this is theoretically in response to a draw 7, but I would like to try to kill this and then attack this turn. I don't know that that's actually happening. I think I'm just dead. Like, I think at whatever point I cast this card, my opponent will, like, Veil of Summer or whatever, and it's just the end for me. And I think if I don't cast this card in this turn cycle, they just, like, wait, go to their turn, take the best of the cards with Sylvan Library, find something that protects Grizzlebrand naturally, and then go afterwards. So I think I'm just going to go for this, knowing that so many things can go wrong here. Force of Will and Veil of Summer both really suck. Yep. And I guess that attack's free. We're not killing anytime soon, so it just feels correct to preserve the life total. The fast shuffle. Yep. Alright, Omniscience with 12 cards in hand. Like, we're done. Yeah, so like before we started recording the league, or I guess maybe right at the beginning, I said that I was a little surprised that we don't have Hymn to Torox because it feels like we're very light for combo matchups. Like essentially in the main deck we have Thoughtseizes and Lily of the Veils, and that's it. And I kind of stand by that. Like I get that the discard sucks kind of because of Veil of Summer, but it really feels like I don't have enough interaction for combo unless it's graveyard based combo. So I still am of that opinion. Anyway, hope you all are having a great night. This is the second full week of school for me now. The struggle. The teaching itself is pretty easy, and the work itself is not bad, but like I had like 40-ish students who didn't show up to class one day this week, so there are issues of a different nature right now. mtggoldfish.com/player/SR Stumpy. Last results were in 2018. Alright, so I have no idea what they're doing. This hand's really awkward in the dark. Like, I have fast mana, but like I don't know what to name with Plague Engineer, and this is not a turbo card. And if these cards are bad in the matchup, like it doesn't work. I'm just gonna ship this hand. This hand largely has the same problem, but I at least get to lead on Thoughtseize. I'm gonna keep this and just pitch the Dark Ritual. I don't have a payoff to accelerate out right now. I'm gonna go with the Entomb here. Notably, this player was playing Reanimator type stuff in 2018, so they are definitely on board with what's happening here. Like they know what they're about. This is just destroyed target creature. Seems good. I don't think I use that as a threat. So they unmask, they're gonna target themselves. They found a Grizzlebrand. Damn it. At least I can guaranteed kill it here. And it's not even good. Like I just did that, preventing Force of Will from doing it, but like Lotus Petal Exhume or something like that does work now. Maybe that was wrong. Like I was thinking that I shut off the Reanimate that was already in their hand, but like I played around one thing to play into another thing. Yeah, I don't love that. No obliterators. We have a bunch of ley lines. Go leyline, needle, triumph in. At that, eliminate does not seem good. Mazemind Tome does not seem good. Toxic Deluge doesn't seem good. Plague Engineers don't seem good. Fatal Push also does not seem good. Like, Lost Legacy doesn't seem fantastic. We can do the same thing I did before, board in Bitter Blossom as a turn 2 tap out threat. I guess like we're either playing a Mazemind Tome or a Lost Legacy, neither of which feels particularly good. Dark Ritual, Thought Sees You, Pithing Needle, your fetch land. Hey. Don't have a fetch land, I Pithing Needle, Grizzlebrand, just in the dark. This isn't the Mulda Leyline hand, but I think this is too good to go back. Opponent does not have anything. I'll take their Reanimate. Dismiss all those. No Thought Sees You again. Take the Cabal Therapy, I guess. Now, do I just shut off a land when they have 3? I don't think so. I think I'm just gonna Pithing Needle, Grizzlebrand. So, like, trying to shut off one of their fetch lands when I'm about to play an Urborg is, like, a little sketchy. Different if they have, like, only one fetch land and I'm actually taking them off a color or something, but, you know. This is going to be a very slow game. Alright, Mazemind Tome. This is your chance to shine. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to scry with it or just like try to get 4 cards out of it. I think I just draw a card with it. Yeah, I don't know that this game goes on long enough that I actually... Nope, I'll bottom that. I actually get to draw 4 cards off of that. Awkward. I think it is just straight up better for me to draw a card. I will duress you. Take the Exhume. You can hardcast that on Mask and trade me for Lily's Triumph, and then leave yourself with no way to self-discard. And I'm good with that. Just threat? Like, clock? I don't think so. Now, though? Nah. Don't know the ratio of like Badlands to Bayous and whatnot, but I'm guessing that I'm not cutting them off of either color. That's not bad. I'm just going to cache this in here to start with. Now that I have another one, I'm comfortable doing this. I was trying to stop that before. That's Grizzlebrand. That's presumably not good. That gets something like an Ashen Rider. Oh, just like Iona on black, I can't win. Cool. I have one castable. No, I have no castable card. No, I have one Pithing Needle in my deck that's castable as of right now. Alright. Yeah, Iona feels bad for the mono black deck. I've got to agree with that one. We don't have Caracas as the backdoor out. Yeah, it just feels like we have no ability to clock opponents reasonably. Like, the Planeswalkers either, like, don't kill the opponent or take forever to kill the opponent. This is not a good clock, this is not a good clock, this is not a good clock, this is not a good clock. Like, we don't have anything that threatens to effectively end the game in 3 or 4 turns, which feels hugely problematic. And we also don't have, like, what I feel like is inevitability. Like, a deck like Pox is attempting to assemble a soft lock on opponents, where something like Cursed Scroll represents a huge source of card advantage each turn. And I just don't know that we have something that's good enough as a win condition. Like, we have a giant pile of removal. Like, maybe we need to play against something like Rug Delver, where like this removal is actually good instead of like sideboarding out a huge core piece of the deck each time. Or we can like maybe discard a turn one Liliana. Or sorry, maybe we can resolve a turn one Liliana and like the deck will feel good magically. I think we're getting rid of the 4-drop here. Opponent has binned a Dryad Arbor, which makes me think they're on something like, say, Elves or Maverick. Once upon a time, Elves. Still could be either way. Go get it on basic for me. Aww. Edict? Assume that Edict is good. Next turn I get to Murderous Rider, kill one of their things, and then Lily Plus take a card out of their hand. Starts to look a little embarrassing. Opponent just like goes Elvish Visionary or something like that. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. I like that. I like that a lot. We got a Gaia's Cradle for value there as well. Ooh. Opponent has conceded. I like it. Let's take another one of those in. And then, like, this is probably the pile of stuff that I can consider. Yeah, this feels real bad. I don't know that I'm actually sideboarding all that much. Like, I'm the deck with the pile of Plague Engineers and removal. Like, Pithing Needle to stop Wirewood Symbiote, bouncing Elvish Visionary is about the only thing that I'm thinking about. Like, the plan is kind of just, like, kill a pile of their stuff and then play, like, a lifelinker so I don't die to small idiots while I ride a Planeswalker to victory. Inverted Ninja, don't worry about the scoreboard tonight. Don't worry about that so much. I think I need this. I think I need to stop Wirewood Symbiote or I get, like, ground out in a bunch of games. I'm thinking about cutting this or Murderous Rider, and I think I'm just going to cut the card that's clunky that can randomly get, like, Rexaged or Abrupt Decayed. I do love me some Ashiok. I mean, turn one, Dark Ritual Plague Engineer on Elf is certainly not bad. Probably good enough to keep a hand with. Edict you? Then have double Plague Engineer on Elf? Or do I just like I kind of want my lands, so maybe I don't do that and I just play a Plague Engineer on Dryad on turn 1, and then the turn 3 one on Elf. I don't know. It can't be that bad to edict them and then try to save 2 Plague Engineers or Elf, or like Elf and Insect or something. A little awkward if they play Nettle Sentinel on turn 1, but otherwise it's largely fine. Holy shit. Ha ha ha. Well. Yeah, there are worlds where Elves runs Cabal Therapy. If it happens, it happens. I'm gonna pause here like I'm thinking about a removal spell and then not do it. Like they just have like a visionary. Ooh, Birchlore Rangers. I'm about to ruin poor Funky Monkey's whole career. So I feel like Liliana Plus is not insane here, because like all 3 of my cards are very good and my opponent probably has cards in hand that are bad. So I think I'm just going to pass the turn without activating this Lily. Woohoo! A Cabal Pit. It's a little spicy, but it makes sense if they have Elvish Reclaimers. I don't think you need to Once Upon a Time in response to Plague Engineer, right? Like, you're gonna show me a card that might give me a creature type that I need to hit. We're still just gonna name Elf with the second one. Redundancy. And again, I think we don't activate the Lily. The cards are really good. Wasteland plus play Guy this turn, I think. Sure. We're very fine with this timeline, because now I get to Wasteland this Bayou. Put a second one of those on Elf, and now at this point, I think I'm good with plussing here. I know this card's good, but we have a Castle Locktwain now, plus 4 lands. Plus we have, like, we need to just, like, not lose to an accidental Progenitus that slips in play, and this gives me a safety net for that. Yep, opponent has conceded there. Alright, so the deck with 20-ish removal spells is pretty good versus creatures. That makes sense. How many do we actually have? Okay, I sold us short. It's 22 main deck. Wow, that is a lot of murder power. Like, some of those are a little situational, and like some of them are creatures as well, some of them are planeswalkers as well, but like, holy crap, we kill cards dead. Eat blood for the blood god. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah? I need my opponent to be playing creatures? That's happening? We have turn 1 into turn 2 into turn 3 removal? If that's not happening, like, eh? Oh, I'm glad you enjoy this sort of thing. I enjoy this sort of thing too. Oh, excellent. Glad to hear it. Check out the VOD tomorrow. So Daze is going to be really good against me this game at some point, so I think I'm just going to try to break a Daze right now by Fatal Pushing on their end step. I would rather have a Fatal Push get dazed than something like the Lily or Plague Engineer later. That's much, much more important. I can play a Planeswalker around Daze this turn, but I haven't given my opponent a great opportunity to force of negation something yet. Eh. Alright, I'm doing it. At least I know how to call them. Alright, so long term we have an Oko to worry about. We have 4 eliminates. Wizard or Elk? I think Wizard. Like, I don't want to have to deal with Arcanist or Delver plus Oko at the same time. Like, this at least means that if they draw one of those things, they have to, like, do something about the Plague Engineer before they play it. And that maybe upgrades Plague Engineer to a 3/3. And then it trades with an Elk, whereas already it would just trade with an Elk as is. Not great. Not great. So this starts to, like, beg the question of, like, how many turns can I do this before I'm dead? I don't think it's very many turns. This plays this Liliana around both Pierce and Daze. Oh man, are we gonna get a Force of Negation for this? Like, what's happening? We're getting a Force of Negation for that Dark Ritual. Like, oh. Very happy with my decision how to play that turn. So I guess my opponent was scared of, like, a 4+ mana creature. Bait a Stifle here. Hey JD, welcome. I have to keep this Oko's loyalty in check. Like, the -5 is pretty annoying. Like, they take the Plague Engineer. And this is opponent's control. It's not symmetrical. So, like, if they end up taking this Plague Engineer at some point, it's, like, super a nuisance for me. I have 4 eliminate 4 Murderous Rider for these sorts of situations. Alright, I think at this point I'm dead. I'm gonna give it one more draw step and then concede. Yep. So this was the fear. Yep. Yep, there it is. Like, I definitely identified what my opponent should be doing and did that well. This is now too late. Like, opponent has 4 threats on board. Me paying 3 life this turn to draw a card, not gonna do it. Let's add to the pile of removal. I don't think we need pithing needles or anything like that. I think we're just kind of on the wrong side of variance that time. As we've done every round, let's board that out. Not super sure about these here. I'm also not super sure about Thoughtseize. Like, the 2 life is pretty relevant, but I have 6 life linkers, so maybe it's fine. I think I like something that looks like that. Keeping all 25 lands. Inverted Ninja, I'm not sure how many lands this deck should be playing. 25 seems like a lot, though. That might be part of it. And I do nothing a lot. No, this is not my own creation. My opponent has a wasteland, I lose this hand instantly. I think I want something with some earlier interaction. This is earlier interaction. I guess I don't lose to Mana Screw with this. I did want lands. This time around, we will play a Fatal Push around a Daze. Inverted Ninja, I agree. Like, I need more gas than what I have. I'm also not sure that this is supposed to be a Wasteland deck, right? Like, Wasteland is better when you're doing multiple things that attack mana, and this deck is only doing one thing that attacks mana. So, like, in Pox, like, you have Smallpox plus Wasteland, and that's 2 things that are attacking mana. In Delver, you have, like, Pierces, Days, Wastelands. You have multiple things that are attacking mana. But here it just seems awkward. Like, it's obviously good in this game, but, like, what if our spell ratios were just different? Opponent has too many lands for my liking. God, are they gonna fucking give me the ape? They gave me the ape. Fatal Push doesn't kill the ape. That's very bad. That'll kill the ape, but it'll probably get countered. Like, opponent still has 7 cards. Quite stressful. Fatal Push kills things based on CMC. Ugh. This turn's very awkward. I don't like the card advantage that this represents. I think I need to answer it now, take another hit from the Mandrels, hope they don't have yet another creature, and then Edict it. Fuck! Alright. That sucks. Specifically, this sucks because this pluses to 4, which still gets killed by Hooting Mandrels. So now I'm in play a Lily. Take one of the two off the board, and then the other is still a problem. And I lose the first Lily I play. Oh god, multiple Hooting Mandrels? Oh, 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 oh. When people ask me what my fetishes are, I think that's my answer. That right there. Lock with power 3 or less? God damn it. God damn it. How do I beat Oko here? Like, rip something that answers it? Will they notice the swap? I have a lot of players don't notice the swap. Like, if they don't notice the swap or they just elk this, I think it's the best line for me. They notice the swap, like, it sucks, but whatever. Alright. So now I'm going to take 3, then I'll Lily Edict that. I think. I need Eliminate. Yep. That kills that. I go to 1. I answer the elk with Lily. Fuck me! Oh my god. We lost that one after that, like, 3-for-1 Toxic Deluge. That was rough. So on the podcast episode this week, I said if there was like an upcoming GP or something like that, I would just be playing Rug Delver. That's why. That's why right there. I guess I keep this hand. Like, I'm not happy with it, but burn, red prison. Is red prison are 2 swamps enough swamps to naturally start with? Yes. I think so. But the third's helpful for when I get to 6 mana, so I can black, black, black. I'll go ahead and play a Delta. I mean, my relative level of enjoyment. Oh, it's some sort of like Ruby Storm deck. Okay. Don't know that we're particularly good against this. This hand certainly is very bad against this. Actually, it's not odd for Red Prison to not have a turn 1 play. Like, keeping hands based on turn 2 plays are totally acceptable. So the good news is that if our opponent is trying to win via goblins, good luck. The bad news is that if opponent does anything cool... What the fuck? Oh, it's mono red sneak attack? Okay. We're way better against mono red sneak attack than mono red storm. What the fuck? Oh, I've never read the bottom of that card. I've always removed it with Swords to Plowshares. I straight up did not know that it had that text. Okay. That's going to be interesting. Alright. Alright. That thing is also gonna like dodge, fatal push, and eliminate. Yeah, library third from the top. Opponent also does have to have the mana to go and cast it again and again, so like maybe we'll be okay. I assume that thing is a boar. Are we plague engineering on boar, or do I put that on goblin in case they do also have like goblin based stuff in here? They probably don't. Put it on boar. I think it sends a message. Boar. What is life right now? This is also just an onboard way to answer that boar a couple of times. So like very much on board with it. Heh 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 heh. How'd I do, Twitch? Is this how I make the big dollars? Boar puns. I gotta follow for that. Woods94, thank you very much for following. Really, the biggest downside of this stream is that Kalitas hasn't done anything. Alright, a second defense grid. Things are very safe during my opponent's turn. We're playing against mono red sneak attack. The deck's been a little awkward, Reaple Cheap. I think we have too many lands. I think we don't have enough threats, or maybe threats that close the game fast enough. Start by plussing this. The boar is gone. Or a boar is gone, might be more accurate. Hoods, especially if you're looking to play online, like there's a lot of online events these days that you can play and grind some value with. Like, yeah, the card rental services like Card Hoarder also are a really good way to like go and play the format if you're looking to play multiple decks. I think we just call that good here. Like I want to keep this murderous rider in hand in case like somehow my Liliana gets answered by like I don't know, double Inferno Titan hitting play or something. No, it's not difficult to get a card holder loan account. There used to be like queue time, like a wait time, like it would take a week or two, but that's just not the case anymore. All right, how do I maximize my chances of winning this game? I'm pretty unlikely to be dead. I'm pretty unlikely to lose the game to Emrakul. I can't Murderous Rider during my opponent's turn. I have 5 mana. That would cost 7. I think I draw a card, look for Thoughtseize, play Thoughtseize, then play Murderous Rider using Dark Ritual. I think that's the dream draw here. Then I'll eliminate. At this point, we'll go the discard route and discard and eliminate. I got rid of a boar. So I think I am just supposed to cast one of these to put one more permanent in play. Opponent's going to need some sort of like World Spine Worm, Emrakul sort of thing to even have a chance. One of those was top decked, just for the record. I've never seen Symbiotic Worm. Well, I haven't seen Symbiotic Worm in this deck list before. I've come across this card before, like I am aware of its existence. The Liliana of the Veil really makes this turn very complicated for my opponent. The World Spine Worm is attacking the Liliana, so like it's very dead. Hmm. Alright, I think I'm taking 7. Or am I? Like, do I just jump block and then deluge for X equals 5 on my turn? Giving up my creatures, but like cleanly answering the entire board? Yeah, I probably just jump. Notably, opponents' double defense grid, like, definitely kept weird things from happening in that turn cycle. So now for future games, I know that this goes on insect. Like, that's a thing. So there's only upside for me attacking with these things. Like, I can gain 2 life, for example. Send them. All the insects. Yeah, Reaple Cheap. Cling to Dust might be reasonable in this shell. I will accept those blocking orders. Okay. Okay. Also, one of the first times that I've ever had a Murderous Rider actually die and not get exiled, just while we're talking about those sorts of things. Clean up! And 3 turn clock. This deck is not going to have any manipulation. I'm very much good with just trying to close out the game here. So that's back-to-back giant fatty top decks in the deck with no manipulation. That's definitely tilting. So, like, that has to happen. I think I'm looking to spike another removal spell this turn. Ooh, do I scry? Bet I scry. It also gives me 4 life. Send that to the bottom. Go ahead and cast Dark Ritual and use that to activate the castle. We'll get a Plague Engineer back. That can trade for a worm. Not well, but it can do it. Well, MTGO always updates with latest Oracle text. So that's why that's happened. So I think after this stream, what I'm going to do is throw this deck list in the Discord. I'm just going to let people in Discord talk over changes that we should make to it, and then I'll try it out again. Probably Saturday morning. Let the hive mind do their tweaking. It'll be interesting whether or not the opponent decides to kill the planeswalker. Like, kind of spooky if they don't, but it's also kind of spooky if they do. All right, so Worm is going in at one of them. That's fine. All right, let's draw any removal spell. That's a swamp. So those worms are now 4/4s. Do I activate Castle Locthwain? Feels like no. Am I supposed to hit this? Am I supposed to attack? Like, bring my opponent to 4? Trade Plague Engineer for a worm? I'll be at 8. I'll take 6 back. Ooh, maybe I'm supposed to attack. I'm supposed to attack and wasteland them. How am I supposed to beat that degree of luck? After going Hellbent, that was 3 of 4 fatties in a row, with the one miss being a Sandstone Needle. I am unhappy. Fatal pushes are not great. Eliminates are not great. Collective brutalities are awkward. These Liliana's triumphs aren't even all that great, right? Like, a bunch of the creatures are just have built-in sacrifice redundancy. They're good against the boars. Ugh. Yeah, variance is variance. Like, that's fine. That's just super frustrating. Like, I really like how I played that game. But it did not matter. Sometimes it seems like I am cursed. Like, we're definitely playing an underpowered deck tonight, so, like, that's one thing that we should keep in mind. But, like, that seemed like an unreasonable string. Yeah. We're gonna take the through the breach here. No, we're gonna take the boar here. Through the breach can randomly get hit by eliminate instead. Or not eliminate, collective brutality instead. I'm trying not to play these Urborgs. Like, to make Sandstone Needle significantly better. Like, I'll do it if I don't hit another land this turn. But I would like to not have to play this. Long term, this Lily is too important to not play this turn. We get, like, Spirit Guide or Petalmized in this turn cycle, like, so be it. But, like, opponent clearly didn't have it this turn. So might as well try to dodge for one turn to, like, set myself up for long-term success. Like, if next turn I get 2 Thoughtseize followed by Lily Plus, it's probably very hard to lose from there.
Yes, this is Thoughtseize 3 of the game.
Interesting. Opponent had the opportunity to play City of Treaters, use a Spirit Guide, cast through the breach, kill my Liliana, and attack me for a bunch, and they didn't do it. I think I just take the through the breach and then plus and actually discard my Liliana's Triumph. Like if I leave them with this and then they top deck like a champ like they've been doing, I just die. Oh right, this has the other mode of controlling a Liliana Planeswalker. That's true. Yeah, so let's take the through the breach past this. Yeah, this might end up being okay. Alright, now the Inferno Titan's gone, and presumably the Spirit Guide is gone as well. It's going to be really hard for my opponent to store up things. Liliana probably just immediately ultimates. I'm not sure. But like drawing a card off of Castle Locthwain and then having active Castle Locthwain when they have like 2 lands, maybe 1 land, is good. Yeah, that's fine. That sure doesn't do much right now. All right. So obligatory line is that, and that's gonna send the boar back. I guess. This is why I didn't want to have an Herborian play, by the way. Like, the Sandstone Needles will do work. Yeah, definitely feel like I need a few more threats in this deck. That's really annoying. Now the boar can just come in at any time for 1 red mana. I guess I'm just holding up Murderous Rider, and we'll ultimate the sneak attack away, maybe. Yeah, like what I'm doing tonight just doesn't feel like it's powerful enough for Legacy in any way. Like, what I'm doing is so outclassed by like Uro Oko type shenanigans that it's ridiculous. Yeah, I do nothing a lot. That's part of the problem, right? Like, we're not doing anything that is like very explicitly broken. I don't think Deluge is modern legal. But like, I am not the person to ask about that sort of thing. that even good? Probably better than my average draw. I'll top that. What's the wording here? Not great. All right, the opponent is now done with me. I have determined. Oh god, we have to do this again. We have to do this again. Okay. Do I want something like Bitter Blossom? When the clock is a little bit lowish, Collective Brutality is like very much not great on the draw. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I think one of Bitter Blossom or Lost Legacy is playable. This hand is gas! Turn 1 Thoughtseize, figure out what to needle. Turn 2 Thoughtseize plus needle. Turn 3 Bitter Blossom. Yeah, so the donor specifically wanted to see if Kalitas was playable. So opponent mulled to 5. Thoughtseize is going to eat them alive. Yeah, so I'll take the World Spine Worm here. Discard in 2020. More likely than you might think. Now we'll take the boar. Leave them with Spirit Guide, Sneak Attack. And we'll Needle, Sneak Attack. I think I just want to get that Planeswalker down and ultimate it. I think that's how I win this game, using the least number of seconds off my clock. Very happy with that draw. This card is not doing much right now. Sorry, buddy. So we can still lose to land through the breach, like, or into another thing as well. Annoying. But opponent needs to like really have another through the breach afterwards for next turn. The boar is not going to be good enough. Sneak attack isn't good enough. That is a very aggressive draw 7. I guess they just think like they have to win next turn or that's that. Okay. Seems like at this point I'm just going to win by timing my opponent out. Yep. Uh, It's not really an exciting way to end a stream. Yeah, so let's resort this by converted mana cost. Okay, so thoughts on the deck list. Number one, there's too many lands. Number two, there's not enough ways to win the game. Number three, the things that are here trying to win the game are too slow. So, like, Lily of the Veil takes forever to technically win a game. And the same is true for Lily Last Hope as well. And if you're just trying to clock with, like, a Murderous Rider, it's pretty embarrassing. Um, yeah, so, like, get rid of the sideboard. Like, I boarded this out every round. It does not seem like it's the right power level for Legacy. Like, I bet we can find a better source of card advantage than Maze Mind Tome. Collective Brutality did not feel that great. We're not doing anything unfair with it in terms of, like, discard and such. So it didn't feel particularly strong. Like, it's a flexible card, and that's probably why it's here, but eh. Like, I also don't know that we're a Wasteland deck. Like, it feels like we want to be at 3+ mana for almost the entire game. So it feels like at least 10 cards from this deck list probably need to change. Like somewhere on the order of 21 lands is probably closer to where this deck needs to be. I don't know. I'm going to post this current deck list to Discord right after I end this, and we can like try to figure out what we want to do differently on Saturday, but the deck list as it stands now doesn't quite feel good enough. And if the donor didn't want Kalitas to be a core part of the deck, like I would also be cutting this. No, I'm posting this on my own personal Discord for the channel. It's for the subs. I'm gonna let the subs take a crack at adjusting the deck list, and then we'll play it again Saturday. Yeah. Sideboard felt okay. I don't know. It's a little weak for non-graveyard based combo, but maybe if hymns are in the main deck, that changes that equation as well. There's tuning to be done here. Ultimately, that's my conclusion for this stream.